Hey everybody, kia ora koutou katoa, mihi atu ana hau kia koutou katoa, no mai haere mai piki, mai kake mai ra. Kia ora e te whānau, ko Jocelyn Awhenetaransky ahau. Obviously, I'm grateful to be coming live into your living rooms or onto your phones or laptops and share a message with you of this 21-day series about NLP and hypnotherapy and really just taking off the little parts and dissecting it a little bit like a scientist and being able to go into each element, each compartment and explain it to you and describe it in a way which is beneficial, kind of meat and spuds. Hopefully I don't confuse you too much with the terminology. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment down below. Ask me any questions you want or even comments. If you're watching a replay, hashtag replay, let me know where you're watching from and also whereabouts you are in the world, because I love to connect with people from all over the world. I think one fundamental thing about my culture growing up in New Zealand, I am Māori and Scottish, is the whakawhanaungatanga, the love that we have as a culture, as a heritage, is people. And there's a famous whakatauki which I use in one of my videos, Hea ha te mea nui o te ao. What is the most important thing in the world? And it's not things so much, tangible things, phones, cars, flashy things, not all of that. It's he tangata, he tangata, he tangata, which is, it is people. It is people, it is people. And I would go further for me personally and say, he tamariki, he tamariki, he tamariki, it's the children. It's the children, it's the children. They're the most purest form of energy, the most purest life form and life force, and they're really honest. They speak their truth until they're taught that it's not safe to share their feelings, their frustrations, their tenties, and speak their truth. But up until then, before they've been imprinted on and others' beliefs have been imposed upon them, they are free spirits, and it's hard for them to shake that free spirit that they have. So I think and I feel that most importantly, it's our children, it's our tamariki, it's our rangatahi, it's our teenagers. They are the future, and they are also our future, and leaders and presidents, prime ministers, so whatever we feed into their moitoi, into their unconscious, whatever we are doing as parents, it's going to directly impact them, and whatever we're not doing is also going to directly impact them. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Queensland. I'm really grateful for the weather. It's been great. So we've been able to get out and about, my daughter and I, and spend quality time together. And that's one of the fundamental things, is that time, yes, we have time, but quality time, actually getting to know each other again and getting to reattach in a healthy way, and getting out of the house and having a laugh, listening to some songs, singing, and doing something out of the ordinary is so important. So for day 3, I wanted to bring to you an extension of day 2, which I started talking about unraveling neuro-linguistic programming. And today I felt like it would be of service to my audience for those who don't know much about NLP, or who know quite a bit about it but haven't really dived deeper into it, or are wanting to learn more to better themselves and their mindset. I'm going to share with you the NLP communication model today. This is one of the things that changed my life, because once I understood it and it made sense to me and it was tangible, it's something that I really took time to understand and process for myself, then I was able to be in a position of change, to be a change maker, agent of change, to want to change. Until that time, I was honestly at effect of everything. I didn't know that there were certain criteria that I could take control of and be in a position of power instead of always feeling like, my past was screwed over by my childhood, sexually abused, by default, this is how I am because of that. Not that I ever felt that, not that I ever believed that, but unconsciously I had some really unhealthy, unconscious patterns that would hinder me being able to achieve my goals, me being able to write them down and actually follow through. There was some real unconscious behaviors that would just keep me looping. They either keep me stuck, immobilized, or keep me looping, so going around and around in circles. And often you may have found that you've found yourself in that situation where you have a goal that you want to achieve. Doesn't matter what you try to do, there's always something that comes up. There's always some sort of self-sabotage within, or something outside happens. Someone, I don't know, they don't pay you on time, or someone dies, or your boss is being less than resourceful, is not being a nice boss, or whatever the circumstance, right? And with this information, my intention is that you'll be able to see yourself more clearly, and as you understand and have that clarity more for yourself, then you're going to be in a strategic position, to position yourself in a way where you can make better decisions, and you can also actualize different types of circumstances, events. You can position yourself in a way where if you're not getting a certain outcome from, if it's a relationship, if it's at school, if it's at work, then you can come back to self and say, what is it that I can change here? What are the new pictures that I can create here? What is it that I need to learn here for myself so that this doesn't continue, the cycle stops, it's discontinued, or I take myself out of the situation. So this is really the intention and the focus I would like you to look at it from. Now, you can look at it from whatever's going on in your life right now, from that perspective, or the perspective and example I've given you if you don't have one. So I'm going to go through this with you, and just bear with me as I put this up here. So this is the communication model, and that I want to convey and I want to get out. And I've really intuitively prayed for what is the right message for my audience that people need to hear now. And so when I go off on a tangent and talk to people, I'm like, I do that with my daughter, because I have so much up here, and sometimes I forget. So I don't want to do that, but I will come back to your comments. I will connect with you. If you want to follow me, I'll follow you, and let's create a network of people, of healthy healthy connections that are going to align you to achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve in the world. Because let's be real, there's a lot of things that are happening at the moment in Australia and the world that are not making you feel confident about your future. Let's be honest. If you were honest, there's few things that are out of your control, and so the only thing that you can do to position yourself strategically where you are at the forefront of your life, where you are the captain of your own ship, where you are taking charge and you are fully responsible for yourself and your results, is to focus on you. And a lot of people spend time waiting for the right time, waiting for the right a sign from God, waiting for the right numbers to come up on someone's car number plates or on the timer, or, there's so many ways that people want to see a sign first before they make a decision, rather than just tapping into yourself, connecting with your body, trusting your body's wisdom, intuitively connecting to your higher self, your ancestors, God consciousness, and making that decision. So many people aren't making decisions and are staying stagnant, and they're waiting for a catastrophe. And in a year, they could have just done a lot of work on themselves, gotten themselves out of that situation, that they weren't at effect of what's happening in the world. So you can choose to be at effect, or you can choose to be at course. It's really your choice, and there's no right and wrong. There's a good, better, and best. The best position that you'll find yourself in is if you take action, even when you don't know what the heck you're doing, but you consistently are pushing yourself forward, consistently making progress, taking risks, calculated risks, but being ready to jump, even if it means you might lose other people who may not even be the best people for you, who aren't that supportive, who aren't like-minded, who don't get your vibe, who don't understand what you're about, and at risk of losing that for what you are fully ready to reap and sow. And, at the end of the day, we reap what we sow. If we're not reaping, if we're not sowing seeds, like the parable of the sower, he was just throwing out seeds, and some seeds took root, some landed by the wayside, some got eaten by birds. And Jim Rohn always says, I wouldn't sign up to that group. I wouldn't sign up to the group that asks, why did the birds eat the seeds? Like, what's the point? He just kept sowing seeds. Some got burned, some got scorched, some the weeds grew and it got strangled, but there were other seeds because he just kept sowing seeds, and it's the pattern of repetition. It's the pattern of just keep numbers. It's a numbers game. Keep sowing seeds. Eventually the good seeds, they took root and they found nourishment and they grew, and those seeds were fruitful, and they aligned, and they brought forward seed. And so you've got to be thinking about your future. You've got to be thinking of your children's future, your grandchildren's future. It's not the time to be latent and mangere in mindset, or lazy in mindset, or unsure or confused, and just stuck. There's no time for that. Unfortunately, I wish I could tell you something different, but that's just not the way the world is going. You have to be ready and ready to adapt and pivot multiple times. And sometimes, what you want and what is best for you are two totally different things. And that can be a hard pill to swallow. But, life isn't here, and it's not all roses and lollipops and rainbows. There's some work that needs to be done. So anyway, good, better, best. So the best options, and then good, and then good, better, and best. So there's 3 types of levels with the good, better, and best. There's some good choices you could make. They're okay. They'll keep you sort of going and keep you tying the line. And then there's better choices, but the best choices are the ones that are going to bring you fruit. And you might lose some seed, but at least you are going to be in a position where you are reaping the benefits of your harvest, of your hard work, and you are reaping what you sow. So I'm going to go into this communication model. So just bear with me as Notice my voice. Do you notice my voice? My tone of my voice has dropped. Notice the speed of my words has dropped. Notice just my energy has dropped. Notice my physiology. My hands aren't like, oh my gosh. It's my hands are like, my body's witnessing that moment. I have pictures of that moment, and I've replayed that thousands of times in my head. What could I have done to prevent her from dying? That is the power of NLP communication model. So I acknowledge my Nan, and I'm so grateful for her. She is my best friend. She was all of our best friends. All her grandchildren believed that she loved us the most. Like my brother was, when he stood up and he had his speech, he said, oh, glad her favourite grandchild is finally here. He flew from New Zealand. My other sister said that. My other sister thought that. My other sister thought that too. We all felt like she loved us more than each other, because that's how special she was, and that's how she made us feel. So I just imagine if you're having moments every day where you are looping this cycle of maladaptive behavior or maladaptive miscommunication internally. So you're having misaligned communication to your goals or dreams, or you're feeling depressed, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling suicidal, you might be feeling helpless, hopeless, you might be feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is going on. Like, how am I going to work? How am I going to survive? How am I going to provide for my family? How am I going to even just exist? Like, I don't even know if my company's going to be able to remain open. I don't know if I'm going to be able to feed my family. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to pay the bills. That's an unresourceful state. So when I say unresourceful, you will know what that means. Because in that state, there's no answers. There's no ability to find a way out. It's just really sad and depressing. And physiology becomes that as well. Similarly, if you have that, but you also have these tools, and you know how to recode yourself and recreate new internal representations, even when you feel like crap, then you're going to be able to position yourself in a more empowering state. You're going to feel free instead of enslaved. You're going to feel like you have this, you got this, doesn't matter what's going on, you're unstoppable. And you're going to have a sense of, I know this might be not ideal, right? My Nan dying, that was like, calamity. Like, I could easily start crying now if I allowed myself to know that that wasn't a good situation. But I don't. I don't believe that. I believe I'm glad that she is free. I truly do, and it's selfish of me to miss her when I know she's happy. She is like flightless little bird angel, flying over all of us and going and doing her thing. She's getting things done. But in that state, it would be easy to believe there's nothing else. Just in this bubble of pain and suffering. I don't see any way out of this. I don't have any resources. I don't have anyone to turn to. No one can help me. So I might as well just stay in this bubble. And it's easy to do that. It's easy to do that because it's harder to look at in terms of being in that bubble. It's not harder. I take that back. But in this bubble, it's easy to do. It's easy to stay there and have self-pity and just see no way out. the beauty of NLP and hypnotherapy, which I tell all the time, people saved my life. Because I was definitely in that when I was suicidal. I wasn't thinking about, oh my gosh, I want to create a new life and I want to help lots of people. I was thinking about myself, and I was thinking about how can I just live. So in that state, I wasn't in a state of resourcefulness. But luckily, I had these tools as well. So I had this outcome, and then I had these tools. And what I was able to do when I got over myself and I just allowed myself to grieve, because the grieving process is real. You can't flip a switch and be out of the grieving process. It takes a mindset to allow yourself to go through it, but not get stuck in it. It's very important. You can get stuck there and you don't want to. You don't need to be stuck there for years and decades. And so with the NLP stuff, you can bring yourself out of it, and with the mindset of that. So I hope that helps, hope that lands. So because I had these tools, I was able to take myself through grief and honor that, but then also at the same time, I was still doing my mahi, still doing my work, and still living a fulfilling life, even when it felt like I wasn't. Because sometimes we look at ourselves in comparison to others on social media, and we just think, wow, look at their lives. They're on boats and they're flying around the world, and they're at Lake Como and Cornwall Island, and here I am living my life, and I'm just wanting to get up every day. But it's all relative. So first of all, just focus on self. No comparison. There's no room to compare. Second of all, in order to get what you want, you have to have a plan. You have to write that plan down, and you have to, it's very simple, paper and a pen. It's like, this is my magic. This is like my Harry Potter, you know, he has that little thingy. I don't know what you call it. This is mine. This is my wand. I write everything down and I make that shit happen. And so I encourage you to just be masterful, get a pen and paper. What are the things that you are creating in that whole system? The NLP communication model, what is it you're communicating to yourself that's not true? It's based on your filters that you've generalized, distorted, and deleted. And what can you do to change that so you can have a different internal representation, different pictures, different feelings, different sounds, different self-talk, so that you can have ultimately different behavior, different state, and a different outcome. So I leave that with you. I hope that helps, hope that lands with you. That is my interpretation of the NLP communication model. And you can not only use this personally, but also professionally in your business. You can take that snapshot. What's happening in my business? What results am I not getting? How many clients do I need? What's my revenue? What's my return of investment? What's my investment? What's my return of investment? And then you go through the same process. Okay, well, what do I need to create here? And then you map it out. I hope that lands, hope that helps. These tools are phenomenal. They're life-changing, and yeah, I really hope that serves you in some way. If it does, let me know, message me, and also comment down below. And take care. I'll see you all tomorrow for day 4 of the 21 days of NLP and hypnotherapy. Take care, everybody. Be unstoppable.